All right, recording. Got it.
Let me connect to Facebook. Of course. All right.
All right, we are good. Hey guys, welcome to Hot Topic Tuesday. I'm Trish and this is April.
Hi.
Hey. All right, so we have gosh, we've been talking about gut health for a bit now. Really ever since the year. I'm
Hi.
Trish and this is April.
Hi.
Isn't that April?
Ever since New Year.
I'm
Hi.
Trish and this is April.
Hi.
Isn't that April?
Okay. Alrighty. Sorry about that. We were
Well, that's
having
okay.
it was
Was your Facebook thing on? Sometimes that
it
happens.
was it was and it cannot be a hot topic Tuesday without some kind of technical difficulties. And I
Yeah.
swear I really do not know how I managed to do that live last week and not have any issues. Like I do not know how it's possible. But anyway, we like Trish was saying, we have been the whole month of January has been on gut health topics. So we're kind of continuing those trends. We've got one more week left. And today's topic is the top 4 reasons why you need more fiber in your diet, and also the top 3 types of fiber. So, fiber is so important, and it's funny because I don't know, Trish, if you have seen that one documentary that everybody's talking about with the twins, about how.
No, I know what you're talking about, but no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have not watched it. I have not watched it, but I know the consensus of it. And now, granted, a lot of these documentaries can be insightful, but a lot of times they're going to be swayed towards whatever, biased or opinion or whatever. So you always have to take that with a grain of salt. But they were specifically talking about the twins. One followed a vegan diet, one didn't, and just the outcomes of that. And it's funny because, I have always been, a big believer of just fiber in general. Just fiber is just so important, on so many levels. But people that, I've had clients before in the past, you're doing like a prior history or intake, and it's, oh, well, back during that period of time when I followed a vegan diet, I had really great success and blah, blah, blah. And what I always want to say was, yes, of course, cutting back on like animal protein can be, very beneficial, but it's fiber. Like when you follow a vegan diet, you're naturally increasing your veggies, you're naturally increasing your fruits, you're just increasing your fiber as a whole. And my personal opinions, I think that part plays more of a role, more of an impact than anything else. So with
Yep. And that's what I even said. I was saying, like in the Facebook post, I said that, especially us and our age, we'll just leave it at that. And perimenopause and coaching a lot of women through those phases, I'm like, we all know protein's important, all those other macros are important, but I feel like that has almost taken like sometimes slight more importance in some ways. And also it's because I think with how nutrition trends have trended, we've been focused on protein for a long time. Like that's been a hot topic for a while. So I feel like most people have that down pretty well, and have focused on that for a bit. So now giving fiber that much attention, I think is a good thing.
agree. And I think like what you said, I think, kind of beating a dead horse with the protein. Oh, we get it. Protein's important, and, I think I think times have changed and a lot of people are more aware of the importance of protein now, and now I want to kind of, shift the focus on fiber and the importance of fiber. Um, I will say that, the daily textbook recommendation for a female for fiber is 25 to 30 grams a day for a female. And it's actually it's 25, I'm sorry, 25 to 35 grams a day for a female, and it's 30 to 40 grams for a male. Now that's just the textbook range. I will personally say that for myself and any clients that I have that are in perimenopause meaning pre, during, post menopause, they tend to do a lot better in that higher end range. So usually I see them respond a lot better in the 35, 40 gram range,
Yeah.
versus the 25. And I really don't, like whenever I look at food logs, like if I'm reviewing a food log for a client and I see it like under 25, I'm like, whoa, whoa, wait a minute. First of all, like we need to get that fiber up, period. Like we need to get the fiber up. Like that's just bottom line. So I did want to add that. So for the top four reasons, I'll go with the first one. The first one is the importance of fiber, that it lowers the risk of heart disease, and also that reduces the deaths from cardiovascular disease. Specifically, I think y'all have heard. It's funny because Cheerios will promote that they they reduce cholesterol. Cheerios reduces cholesterol because it has fiber. But the reality, I mean, I've got nothing against Cheerios. I love Cheerios. Cheerios are legit. My favorite are cinnamon, but it really doesn't have, you got to eat a lot of Cheerios, or, just if your intake is low in fiber in general, Cheerios might boost that a little bit, but it really doesn't have a whole lot of fiber. But yet that is kind of their claim to fame. The reason that it works so well is because the fiber binds to the fatty acids, which in turn flushes out the body, and it lowers the LDL, so the bad cholesterol. So it can kind of flush out the fatty acids and lower the bad cholesterol in the body. So that is like number one, which is important. And anybody that has gone to their doctor for their well check and they got routine blood work and they came back and they were like, oh my gosh, I need to lower my cholesterol. I cannot tell you the clients that I get that will send me a message, oh, what do I do? I'm like, change your diet, increase your fiber. Like that's number one. Like don't stress, because you can, reduce it naturally and fix it yourself, but it just takes consistency and dietary changes. So that's number one. And you want to go with number two, the which I started saying number two, like probably would have caught more people in the beginning, unfortunately, because it can speed up weight loss or fat loss. Let's call it fat loss. It can speed up fat loss. But anyway, go ahead, Trisha.
Yeah, number 2 speeds up fat loss, and, how it does this, so one thing that is kind of magical about fiber, it's very satiating. So, fiber-filled foods, like your fruits, your vegetables, your whole grains, legumes, they are high voluminous foods, oftentimes for not a ton of calories, and that fiber helps satiety, so it can help, like, if you're eating a mixed meal, which most of us do, and you've got a good amount of fiber in that meal, then it'll help slow down the absorption of carbohydrates that you're eating. So that in turn can help your blood sugar control, helps insulin sensitivity, all of that stuff. And, if you feel full faster, then you're probably going to end up eating a little bit less calories throughout your day. If you've got nice bulk, nice volume in your meals for lower calories, vegetables are a prime example of that, then you're probably going to end up eating a little bit less overall. And then keeping that, insulin sensitivity up on, blood sugar control kind of regulated. That all in turn, can help weight loss for sure.
Agree. And it's funny because many, 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 many moons ago, many moons ago, actually, it was probably about 18 years ago, I did Weight Watchers way back in the days. And it
Mm,
was funny because I didn't do Weight Watchers, like I didn't like go and do it because, in all fairness, like I had just had my last child. I had some baby weight. I knew that if I would have went there, they would have been like, why are you here? Like, like I just had extra baby weight, and it was kind of the big thing. So I ended up going on eBay and I ordered the calculator and I ordered, basically I studied it myself and I decided that I was going to do it. And it was the point system. But very quickly I realized, very, very quickly, probably about a month in, that the more fiber I ate, the less points it took away from me and the more satiated I felt. So like I was always, because I have always liked to eat. Like I am someone who, like, I get some clients and they're like, yeah, I just really don't like to eat. I'm like, really? Like, take your food because I like to eat. But
And you really like to feel full after a meal. I think that's important too. You know, a lot
right,
of people want to feel pretty satiated.
agree. And I realized quickly that the more fiber I ate, the fuller I would feel and I wouldn't be hungry. And plus I got to use less points. Like I could eat a pound of broccoli and it could be 1 point,
Mhm.
is an Oreo being 3 points. So anyway, that was the magic of that I learned of fiber. It was about 18 years ago. Okay. So number three is it can prevent and relieve
Yeah. See,
constipation.
April, that- Mhm.
Do I
Oh,
do I think you kind of are dragging a little bit, Trisha. Number three
that's
is
right.
it can prevent and relieve constipation. And for those of y'all who do not suffer with constipation, that doesn't sound like a big deal. But for those people that are in the team no poop camp or slow poop camp, it's huge because constipation can in turn snowball into a host of other issues like small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, just slow motility in general, just can cause issues with hormone disruption. Like constipation is just like we want to avoid it at all costs. So anyway, so that is number three. It can prevent and relieve constipation. And number four is, Trisha, the specifically in regards to the prebiotic fiber.
Yes. Yeah. So prebiotic fiber, fiber is all your good, healthy gut bacteria feed off of this. So all like the good stuff that we want to keep around, we want to have more in abundance, pushing out, more of the bad. All like that's its food. It feeds off of that. So the more we can kind of help that, we're going to just overall increase the health of our microbiome in general. So we're just going to have healthier gut function, which in turn, it's a feedback loop. You've got that's going to, again, help your hormones, help hormone clearance, help things like that, help us just feel better overall. And back to the constipation too, like that also goes into weight loss also, because if you're very stopped up, backed up, we'll get a lot of clients that are like, oh, I'm kind of up on the scale or nothing's really happening, but I haven't had, know, a really good bowel movement going on. So all that is just going to just overall increase our microbiome health, which in turn, literally, I mean, that's why we're talking about gut health in January, because we probably would say that that's the, cornerstone, the pinnacle, the start to improving most everything else in your body.
Agree, because which I mean, there's no surprise, and some people may not know this, but just such a significant connection within the gut and so many other systems within the body, the immune
Mhm.
system, our brain, the like the gut brain axis, the hormones, like just on so many levels, and specifically talking about the prebiotic fiber and like nourishing the good bacteria, the commensal bacteria. There's been studies shown that, when we lack some like specific strains of commensal bacteria that can, predispose us to like autoimmune disorders and, just weaken immune system as a whole. And a lot of people don't realize just the importance and the connection, of it, and they don't realize when someone says gut health or how's your gut health, they're like, oh, I poop every day. Okay, well, that's not, you
I
know,
used to and then I'm like, "Wait a minute," but then after incorporating so many more fruits, vegetables, fiber-filled foods, and it's one of those situations where you didn't know you felt bad or had symptoms until you're
good.
doing positive things to change that. And if it's no secret, like if you go to the internet and you search in anti-inflammatory diet, cancer fighting diet, anything you want to tackle, fiber, whole grain foods, fruits, vegetables, those are all gonna be at the top of what to eat, and, it's no secret why.
Agree. Well, it's really, it's not, I mean, it might be rocket science to some people, but if you pick up, if you're buying foods and you read the label and it has 14 ingredients, like that's, or more, in some cases, that's a red flag. A prime example is years ago, I think it was like kind of back in my Weight Watcher days, about 18 years ago. That was back when that Walden Farms crap came out. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is great. This is," and first of all, I was like, "Well, wait a minute. Yeah, it's how can ranch dressing have 0 calories?" Like, no, it tasted like butt. It was disgusting, number one. But, like I remember being at the grocery store and looking at the label, and no lie, it had like 30 some different ingredients that you couldn't pronounce anything. And I'm like, okay, like, back then I didn't have the knowledge that I have now, but I was still smart enough to know this is probably gonna like cause me to get cancer. Like,
Yeah,
like,
not good.
yeah, exactly. Like the additives and I'm not gonna ramble today. So the second part is the three types of fiber. So we have soluble fiber, insoluble fiber, and resistant starch. And that's a special one. But I think Trish wanted to tackle the soluble fiber. So Trish, do you want to explain what soluble fiber is and some
Yep.
types of soluble fiber?
So soluble fiber actually kind of goes along with what I talked about earlier with helping to speed up weight loss. So that's going to be the type of fiber that is, good for slowing things down. So it's great for kind of slowing down that digestion, keeping you satiated. If you're somebody that suffers with like maybe more IBS diarrhea, soluble fiber is a good one for that. So it can help, just kind of like slow things down, get everything kind of back to, a little bit of a normal range there. So soluble fiber absorbs water. And some good types of soluble fiber are going to be like your oats, your legumes, whole grains, those kind of typical ones. Avocado is even another one. And that one, soluble fiber is also one of the ones probably that, when you hear about lowering cholesterol and things like that, they're talking about all types of fiber really, but that's one that they're kind of talking about with that.
Agree. And I did want to add the soluble fiber, like what Tricia was saying, it absorbs water in the intestine and forms like a gel like substance. So, like both types or both soluble and insoluble can help with constipation, but soluble fiber, when it forms that gel, it will like, floop, like, like, floop, like sometimes it will like sweep things out, and that's when you get like that giant log, after like not pooping for a couple of days. But a little fun fact is that spilum husk is a type of soluble fiber, and it has been nicknamed the poor man's Ozempic. So
Oh, mm-hmm.
Ozempic is kind of the hot topic now, but spilum husk has been nicknamed the poor man's Ozempic because it slows digestion. You end up, you feel more satiated, and in turn, you end up eating less. And it helps manage the blood sugar. So I get asked all the time, like when clients are trying to actively increase their fiber, a lot of them will ask me about spilum husk, which I am all for, you know
Mm-hmm.
like I am all for, like, if it helps you, great, it could be good. But ultimately, eating whole foods, like having that substantial, is going to be more beneficial than taking a supplement, personally.
You're going to get a lot more benefits as far as like food volume, keeping full, getting a lot of and more micronutrients and stuff. A lot
So
more in that for sure. But if you need it to get started, help you out, like, or kind of maybe if you're in a constipation rut and you need, that'll definitely help.
So funny story. Always have a funny story. Years ago, the 18 or so years ago, back in my Weight Watcher days, I had got caught onto the fiber. So then, sometimes we can fall into the more is better category. Oh, it's working so well. I need more. I need more. So I ended up going and buying this gigantic tub of Metamucil that was unflavored. It's
Oh God.
unflavored. And of course, the commercial is, oh, you could just sprinkle on everything. And I literally would take like a tablespoon and just like sprinkling on every single meal that I ate. Like everything that I ate, it was just always had this unflavored Metamucil, and all I did, y'all, was fart all the
Yes.
time. To the point that my husband was like, "Can you please stop putting that powder on your food? Please stop farting, please, please." Anyway, I thought that was
And that's like a good point. Anyone that is increasing their fiber from whatever your body's adapted to kind of like increasing it, you might notice a little bit of bloating, some gas. It does usually kind of like even out and adjust out as your body gets used to it. So it's a good idea to like adjust slowly.
agree. And I was going to actually add that towards the end is for those of y'all look and see where you're naturally falling. It is recommended to increase by 5 grams a week. So if you're currently at say 15 grams and then you're like, oh, April and Trish, I'm in menopause, 40 is good. If you go from 15 to 40, you're going to have a problem, so
Yes,
you want to go from 15 to 20 and then a week later go to 25, and you want to increase your water a little bit over your normal your normal average intake. Just allow your body to adjust to it, but your body will adjust to it. So um
it was.
insoluble fiber. So insoluble fiber actually helps hydrate the colon and remove waste. That can also be good for constipation. So it can, like if you got some blockages in there, things have been in there for a while, it can kind of come in, and that's when you kind of get that water effect, kind of sweeping things out. It is some of the specific types of insoluble fiber are seeds, fruit skins, leafy greens, brown rice, and some whole grains. Fruit skins specifically, that is a great source, as well as seeds like chia seeds. Um, just to add for those of y'all, like that's why you want to eat the fruit skins. But if you're eating the fruit skins, look up, if you look up on the EWG website, which I'm totally venturing off. If you're going to eat the fruit skins, buy organic, specifically with the Dirty Dozen. So you got the 3 dozen foods: strawberries, blueberries, spinach. There's bananas are not on there. I think there's a couple others. I mean, we could do another webinar about the Dirty Dozen, but look up the Dirty Dozen foods, and sometimes they update them every year, but those are the foods that will naturally contain more pesticides. So if you are eating the skins, that's where you invest in organic. But I mean, there's certain foods like bananas. It's
Can feel them. Yeah.
exactly, like investing in organic is probably not a big deal. Like it's not even worth it. So, but anyway,
Mhm.
that being said, I just want to add about the investing in organic if some of the fruit skins that you are eating are part of the Dirty Dozen foods. And
Yeah.
last is resistant starch. I've talked about resistant starch a lot. So
Mhm.
resistant starch is a fiber that actually does not get digested it does not get absorbed and digested in the small intestine. It has actually gained a lot of has gained a lot of attention, I would say, the last couple years, about, being like this miracle, like, oh, it's just like, if you want to lose weight, add more resistant starch, eat more foods high in resistant starch. But really the magic with resistant starch is it does not get absorbed in the small intestine, but it ferments, and it actually, kind of like that prebiotic fiber, it actually feeds the bacteria within the gut. So it can feed the commensal bacteria, the good bacteria, and so forth. With that being said, the resistant starch is also really, really good for rebuilding the mucosal barrier within the digestive tract as well, which is very, very important for just overall gut permeability, avoiding leaky gut, that type of thing. So some of the foods that are rich in resistant starch are the cooked and cooled white rice and white potatoes. So batch cooking in the Instant Pot, throw it in the fridge, heat it back up. That's high
Mhm.
in resistant starch. Green bananas, jicama is one. I was on a jicama kick for a long time. They're just a pain in the butt to like peel and cut up, and I'm too cheap. Like if I go to Publix, I can get it already cut up, but I'm so lazy. Publix does carry jicama's, not Publix, Lowe's Foods carries jicama slaw already made, which is actually really good. Anyway, so those are some of the foods that are high in resistant starch. With that being said, I guess I'm gonna
It's
look.
always good to just get a variety though. If you're eating like good colors, lots of different varieties. That's one thing. I don't know if you ever like when I go look at food logs, one thing that if I see a lot of different foods and they're staying within their calories, macros, I always feel like that's such a like good thing, just to see a lot of different things
Variety.
because yes, the variety, that they're getting just all the good micronutrients. You don't have to probably unless there's an issue, I don't think you'll ever have to go in and suss out your insoluble from your soluble fiber. Most probably not, but if you're getting like a good variety of everything, you're probably going to be good.
Totally agree. And I did want to add that food variety is so, so important to avoid developing food sensitivities. You know,
Mhm.
the same foods over and over again, and depending on the current health or state of your gut, we can develop food sensitivities like pretty easily. So that's why rotating foods, and having more variety in our diet is so, so important. And also just from, vitamin nutrient standpoint,
Oh yeah.
if you're just eating chicken, rice, and broccoli, like, you're
Yeah.
limited nutrients. So, the variety and plus variety is the spice of life, y'all. Like, I don't
Mhm.
know about y'all. That's why I have probably like a 75 pair of shoe collection because you never know what mood you're going to be in. Seriously.
Exactly.
Anyway, thank y'all for joining us. And we will probably have one more gut topic for next week to end the month. And then
Mhm.
we're going to transition on to lovely hormones. Um,
Hormone
all
with
right,
me.
y'all have a good week.